I'd gotten the youngest person in the world on death row off death row after taking it to the Arkansas Supreme Court. I had tried a whole bunch of murder cases, 42 capital murder cases as a defense lawyer, and a bunch more that they didn't ask for the death penalty. I'd been on the criminal bench elected to 2 8-year terms. I was doing a lot. So I know about getting a job. But you see, Hollywood tries to control you because they're not about money, they're about an agenda. Now, here's something that most folk don't know. They talk about Judge Judy and Judge Mathis and Judge Maybelline. They talk about Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Phil. Guess who had the highest ratings?
Judge Joe Brown.
I was stepping all over Oprah's feet. Not Oprah. I was beating Oprah's behind every week of the ratings year for the last several years. It was Dr. Phil, Oprah Winfrey, Judge Judy, and Judge Joe Brown in this select 4-show section of CBS syndication. They tried to knock me down so badly, they wouldn't even put me in TV Guide in Los Angeles, California. People calling up, when's the show? And every time I started beating Judy, they would exercise a different option Nielsen would give them for the two of us, but they never would exercise it for me. In the Southeast, where they played me at 9 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock at night, I was beating every show there. #1 in the ratings for an hour format, but they didn't want that. I tell you something that you should do if you ever deal with a corporate entity: buy a share of stock and get a hold of their corporate newsletter. They can lie all they want to you, but if they lie to the shareholders, they're looking at 10 years in the federal penitentiary. So we'll see what they say. They were saying the Judge Joe Brown show, outstanding. It has contributed to CBS having an unprecedented 14 straight quarters of financial growth. The top last 4 have been the highest in the history of CBS, thanks in large part to the Judge Joe Brown TV show. And these low-down punk-ass clowns were telling me, oh, man, things are really going down. Everybody's taking a hit. We're all got pay cuts. You a damn lie. Last month on the 11th, you got a goddamn raise, and this is what you got.
Wow.
Supposedly for being involved with my show. So screw you. So they wanted me to take a massive IOU, and you had to put aside 100, 150K every year so you could get an audit done on the books as to what they were stealing from you. And I tell you something else, the only way you will get a square deal out of this entertainment industry is to have a certain percentage of the unadjusted gross from the first dollar. Otherwise, these bastards will cheat you out of it, and they will stab you in the back, and then they cut each other's throats and then grin about it and ship scrabbly and nibble cheese and crackers, you know, sitting on the leather upholstery in a 5-star hotel's bar area. And I tell you what, too, let's look at something else. They make us pay the tab. Black Panther. Disney and ABC badly needed some money. Why? They jacked up some white folk in this thing, so you want to be a millionaire. So the people that felt aggrieved sued them for about $7-8 million. Well, they won, and ABC and Disney kept appealing, and finally they got through the federal system, went up to the 9-member Court of Appeals for the 9th Circuit. It's an interesting opinion. It starts off, it seems that this industry does not recognize Rule 1 in American contract law, and that is all parties are expected to deal with each other well, taking the language, just straight up and be honest, in good faith. Okay? Yeah. So they said, we'll fix that. So they raised the judgment from the requested $7 to $8 million to $580 million.
Sheesh.
That was in 2011. And the United States Supreme Court refused to hear it, so it was affirmed. So there's no appeal. So the plaintiffs hold liens against all ABC property in the country and all Disney property. And most of the rides at Disney World down in Florida, and a lot of them at Disneyland, had everything that came out of it other than operational expenses going through to the plaintiffs, so they couldn't pay the interest, and the judgment had risen over $1 billion some dollars. So Hollywood has very little cash. They do a lot of reciprocity and exchanges and all of this other stuff. So they came up with the Black Panther movie. And my sources tell me they were discussing it in the hallways about predictably how they could get Black folk to pay a lot of money. Now, what did they do? They got a formula. I used to hear them discuss it when my show was with Paramount. Now, the formula is interesting, but let's take that movie. The worst thing in the movie was that last battle between the men and the women of the tribe trying to kill each other. The women committed treason by propping up the old Panther that Killmonger had defeated. Killmonger didn't have any super drug in him to give him super strength. He beat
Fair and square.
the Panther's ass,
Yep.
fair and square, threw him off in the water. The guy survived. Well, the babes committed treason against the rules of the culture, and they go to help him. Now, who did they go to enlist in their effort to overthrow the now rightful King Killmonger?
White
They
man.
go
Yeah.
and get some Black folk who live where it snows all the time in caves, cavemen, and this is supposed to be in Africa. Where? Mount Kilimanjaro on the other side of the continent from,
Yeah.
you see. And then they don't have any Black men that can fly that virtual fighter plane. They got to get a white CIA guy to do it. And you don't see any Black men doing a damn thing except in the background the spectators are pushing the cart. They got that guy with the big lip disc in who's some kind of preacher stand in. Yeah, they got that, but the mama runs things, the aunt runs things.